Hello, welcome back to another weekend of tipping from Frankie Foster, Joe Ross, and myself on the Punters Guide. Don't forget, you don't have to watch us now. You don't have to see these three ugly, I say two ugly faces, and we've got the chiseled statue of Frankie Foster because you don't to look at, but you can listen to us on Spotify as well. But please just like, subscribe, you get notified when a new show is ready, and we're not too far away from starting our Road to Cheltenham series every Monday as well. But it's the Grand National fences hopefully in action as we record this. We are waiting for an inspection of the Grand National course. It's just the Grand National course being inspected. There will be racing at Angel this weekend, Wincanton, and the safe fixture from Down Royal, Joel. So it's a kind of bumper weekend with an extra Irish meeting thrown in.
Hang on a sec. When you tip up some winners, which were a reviewer last week for about 20 minutes, would I get a 300 to 1 treble? Hang on, we sit there and we
bow
get
down to Joel.
we just ignore it.
Sorry, I can't.
Go on,
what
Joel.
you're saying, I can't. Are you trying to make a point?
No, I'm not. It's a really bumper weekend. I'm about 40 minutes from Aintree, and it's absolutely persisting down at the minute. So good luck for that being on. The racing in Ireland on Sunday looks pretty decent as well at Naas. I've got a nice thing at Down Royal today for you, and everything else looks like a lot of good things this weekend going in. So 2 weeks in form, so you know what's coming now, don't you?
The crash. The crash is coming. Right. And he's gone. Right, Frankie, what are you looking forward to this weekend?
Well, waiting for Joel's tip again. It's not often you get when someone says I've got one in a bumper for you. It's normally 5 to 6, but 7 to 1. The Sam Thomas horse in the bumper was. So fair play to Joel. I did back it as well. It was nice just on my way out of Wetherby to pick that up on the radio. So that was good last weekend. This week there's a couple of I think Pornick's obviously got a great chance. I am looking forward to the Badger Beer again to see if Frodon can do it. This time last year we were saying Frodon was a gift from the gods. I think he was around the same price actually when we talked about it, 3 to 1. And I don't know if I'd be saying he's a gift, but we'll obviously speak about it in a second. I still think he's got a great chance to do it again. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. And then a couple of others of Nichols through the weekend. He always has a crack, doesn't he? Nappers Hill as well, over fences for the second time. So we'll see how we get on. But I think Nichols will have a few definitely across Exeter and Wincanton.
Yeah, he always targets his meeting, doesn't he? Ato, Wincanton, Badger Beard. Come on, then. We'll let you have your glory, Joel. I just mentioned it. Frankie mentioned Celtic Dino, 7 to 1. Won at, was it 4 to 1, 7 to 2 in the end? Impressively.
Something like that.
And he had another nice one at Chepstow as well, didn't he, in the week, going in a bumper?
I can't remember. I'll be honest with you. I've not left the pub since today.
He was celebrating and drank too much red wine since.
He's literally just sobered up 6 days later.
Can I tell you what I treat myself to? I'm going to show you now. And this is just for you, not the podcast listeners. And I'm going to use it as a cleaning cloth.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, Manchester United. I mean, that's a different podcast altogether, isn't it?
Yeah, too right. Do not get me started, but at least we didn't get beat by Leeds.
Hey, hang on a minute. Let's rewind as well, because when I said my weekend could go horribly wrong or amazingly, Leeds did win it on the Friday night. Wetherby was on. Joel's bumper horse did come in. The only missing piece was the winner in the Italian, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
In the Breeders' Cup, but did you have a winner? Did you have a winner in the Italian? That's the question.
Got chatting. No, the thing I was furious with was got chatting and forgot to back in Spiral, and 5 to 2, I would have been all over. But turned my phone on. Oh, better get on, and yeah, the race was gone. So there was too much Italian eating and no punting, unfortunately.
Anyway, we're turning the feeling sour with mentioning Manchester United. They haven't got any rising stars, but it's the Rising Stars Novice. See what I did there? Rising Stars Novice Chase. We're going to start with at Wincanton this weekend. You mentioned Paul Nichols, Frankie, so I'm going to start with you. He's got a couple of odds-on favourites on the card. I like one of them, but it isn't Nappers Hill. He is going to be odds-on, but he's got an Irish Raider and an unbeaten charge of Owen Williams is against him. But you said it's going to be a good weekend. So you siding with Nichols to win this Grade 2 with Nappers Hill?
I am. I thought my tie might have been having a crack here, but looking at it now, he's not. So the next best in the field is Captain Combi and Dorian Star. I don't think they're up to it. I'd be going with Nappers Hill. Now, I know he was beaten on his first chase start, but he got a little bit outpaced. And on his reappearance run, when he had to make up a good bit of ground, and Cobden did ask him to, and he did respond, he did close the gap, but to then keep staying on after having to, expend a bit of energy to close that gap, I think was probably quite a big ask. And I don't think Cobden would have wanted to really push him on his reappearance run. It was more getting him a spin over fences, and I did think he jumped well. And what I liked most was he jumped well when they quickened. That's really crucial, for these novice chasers. You can all plod round and get over a fence, but when they're asked, can they quicken and keep jumping? And he did. So I know he didn't win, and I know that will put a few people off, but I think, he was clearly the best hurdler, the best animal in the field on raw talent, and he looked good enough for all the way around for me on his chase start. So I do think Nappers Hill will win this, even more so with Mai Tai not going.
Interesting. Yeah, Mano was entered but wasn't declared. It is a game of opinions. I mean, he's a good bumper horse, an excellent hurdler. I'm not sure. He's still a natural chaser at Chepstow. I'm not convinced. I was going to give Doyen Star a chance. If Williams hasn't been in great form, but he had a horse run well at Chepstow this week in a novice chase. And, he could be anything still, Doyen Star. I know he's got stacks to find, but he's never had a chance to prove how good he is. So just at the prices, I'll be throwing a couple of quid at Doyen Star because I'm happy to take on Nappers Hill, Joel. Are you siding with me or Frankie? Which side of the fence are you on?
I'm all over Frankie this week. I mean, JPR1 was in this race, and I would have gone probably Nap on this weekend. Look, Nappers Hill 8-13, as you say. I don't think it's a technical term, but he jumps with his arse in the air. Beaten by Unexpected Party. A lot of Nichols horses needing the run. I think it's the best horse in the field. I'm not value seeking this weekend. I'm just going for the best horse in the field on probably really bad ground. Nappers Hill for me as part of probably a little four-timer of some good things this weekend. Quite boring, but when you're in fine form, what can you do?
Okay, yeah, it was fine form last week. All right, then let's get it stuck into one or two big handicaps we're going to look at. Hopefully the Grand Sefton, as I say, does get the go-ahead at Aintree. We're going to talk about the Badger Beer. Frankie alluded to a little earlier. Joel, start with you this time. You're with Nappers Hill. Will Paul Nicholls win the Badger Beer? Frodon once again, off exactly the same mark as 12 months ago, funnily enough. But he's a year older. But is this a weaker field? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a weaker field, but 11 going on 12. And exactly what you said, same mark as last year. Early midweek prices were like 8-9 to 1 or something like that as horses are dropping away. And I remember we put it out there, as Frankie mentioned as well, just a gift from the gods. We know what this horse does. It's not getting any younger, but it's a weaker field, I think. Bryony Masterclass from the front. She goes along, takes back, gets a breather in, goes along. And out of all the horses that are around, there's not many that get me a little jiggy and a bit emotional. I really do think it's a thing of beauty. And I think Paul Nicholls will have the one too with 300 Fire. Harry Cobden now takes over from AP Heskin. I believe there's a rumour going around that AP McCoy has offered him £1 million to call himself AP Heskin. Don't be associated. So Heskin's off, Cobden's on, 3 under through 5. I think will come second to Frodon, but I think this might be the swan song and see you later. Exact same mark, Bryony Masterclass coming up.
Yeah, I could see that. I can see that. At the prices, I'm happy to take him on. I'm going to have 2 in the race from the same yard. Anthony Honeyball's got 4 in there, but I'm going to go with his Gustavian, who I think is still well handicapped, and Blackjack Magic as well. He's very likely raced over fences. So two double figure prices each way for me. Obviously, as a sporting fan, a racing fan, I'd love to see Frodon out in front, but I think at the prices, he might be worth taking on as another year old. He didn't really sparkle after winning this last year. Frankie, I assume you just teased a little earlier that you're hoping to see another, say, Bryony Masterclass and Frodon out in front.
I hope so. I don't think, not that it was easy last year, but I think, I don't know. I approached this race basically last year. Frodon was top weight as he is again. He was the best horse in the field. Was there anything in behind that was improving or well handicapped? And there wasn't really. So I kind of started to look at this with the same sort of thing in mind, and nothing jumps out at me as being, one that's going to be rapidly improving or one that's well handicapped. So I think I'm going to stick with Frodon again. And even those that are, near the top of the weights and on class could match him 3 under 3-5 in the big breakaway. They don't jump that great. So Frodon on the front jumping well could squeeze out some mistakes in those pair. And then the others are just not sure are good enough. If I was trying to find a price and he hasn't ran to justify this, hence why his 14s or around that mark is double figure price. Anyway, Ballygriffin Cottage could throw in a good performance, but his last couple haven't been that great. Are just on sort of early talent that he showed. There might be a big run in him off of 10 stone 10. If running, to that kind of early form might be all right. But I think I'm gonna go with Joel. Frodon, Swan Song. Nichols absolutely got this horse tuned and ready to go. Bryony will be loving it. They want it winning at Wincanton more than probably any other course in the country. So they're going to give it their all with Frodon, and 3-to-1's not an awful price.
Okay, two of the for Frodon.
Matt, Frankie, what time do you think the interview with Bryony will finish if Frodon wins?
Over or unders market. I'm going to go over 5 minutes.
Yeah. I'm sorry. We've got to get off. We've got 4 in a bed coming next. Whatever it is on ITV now.
Live from Frankie's flat. Right, let's move on to the elite hurdle then. Let's move on to the elite hurdle at 3 o'clock. Paul Nichols won this race with Nappers Hill last year. I think this is a race he will, but I'm a little bit worried about the ground for Rubo, but he's already slammed Hansard, who has won on soft ground. You probably appreciate conditions more, but he's already been slammed by Rubo. Gets £6. But I expect West Balboa will turn up at Aintree, so it looks a match on paper. I'm with Nichols this time. What about you boys? Frankie first.
I think so. And I think the market slightly influenced me. A little bit of early money for Rhubarb. He obviously has the fitness on his side. Like you said, soft ground's a slight worry, and Hansard has won on soft. But again, it's that Nichols factor at Wincanton and a little bit of money for Rhubarb. He's still improving. He's gotten himself out of just handicaps by winning that listed race on reappearance run. So probably is the one to be. I wouldn't be going as far as saying he's a good thing. It's quite tight between the two, but if I'm honest, it was the Nichols factor and a little bit of money for Rhubarb at Wincanton. He just gets the nod.
Okay, just for Rubo. Joel?
You're not going to get rich unless you're putting 10 grand on a 4-6 shot, but I think this pricing is all wrong. 6-4 for that second horse by Gary Moore. I mean, they're all, what's he on, 5% strike rate, Gary Moore? And I love the Moore family, but it doesn't make any difference. It doesn't make them run any faster. They all look like they're running on, like Goshen on Valium. At the minute, they're just not right. I mean, that one last weekend looked like it never seen a race course before. And I think this 4-6. If this horse is not going to go off 4-6, it's going to have 1-7 or something like that. I think this is your second leg of that big acca this weekend. I'm not complaining. 4-6, absolutely, but I could not have that Gary Moore horse with stolen money.
Plan for Rubo then. All three of us going for Rubo in the elite hurdle. We'll just pop over to Downroll and talk about their champion chase, because obviously it was saved from last weekend, and obviously Gordon Elliott got the 2 in there. But it's all about Jerry Colombo. Obviously, they know they're talking about the Gold Cup already. He's taken on a former winner in Manila Indo. He will have that fitness edge. Owl conflated, and Envoy Allen won this race last year. He was a little bit disappointing, wasn't he, when he last ran the other day. So the other three don't have a fitness edge, but we're talking about the younger, upcoming Gold Cup potential horse in Jerry Colombo. Does he get the job done, Joel?
No, lay of the weekend. Lay all weekend. Look, if you fancy him, don't back him in this at stupid price. Back him for the Gold Cup. I think Gordon would look a bit stupid because they sent Gentleman's Game over to England last weekend to get the job done because they didn't want to run against that Gold Cup horse. I was just looking back at some stuff. He should be unbeaten. It was just that brilliant ride on the Real Wacker at Cheltenham by Sam Twiston Davis. Looking at what he's beat, I'm not on this Jerry Colombo train at all, and I'm going for the outside of the field. Envoy Alain, 4 from 4 at the track, won at this meeting every year for the last 4 years, 6 or 7 to 1. It's not even a price play for me. I would back this a lot shorter. Jerry Colombo this weekend, absolutely not for me. I think the pressure's on Gordon as well. Look, if he's got to win the Gold Cup, he's got to be winning this. But nah. There is that little doubt that Envoy would stay or not. 50-50. But 7 to 1. Please, how much can I have on?
Oh, interesting then. Frankie, go with the outsider. Are you a Jerry Colombe fan?
I'm not. Um, Joel's always more animated than me, screaming "lay, lay, lay" at his laptop. But I would agree that I definitely wouldn't be backing him at odds on anyway. Even I'm surprised Joel didn't use this as a chance to mention that he said that Brave Man's Game would get beaten and Gentleman's Game was worth a fiver at a price. And you're looking at the same story for me. Darragh O'Keefe's in flying form. We obviously rode the winner of the Charlie Hall. He rides Manila Indo. I just think that Jerry Colombe will have to be a seriously, seriously good horse on his first start of the season to beat a Gold Cup winner who has the fitness edge and really didn't show any signs of kind of regressing last year, Manila Indo. We obviously didn't get to see his true running in the Gold Cup because he was hampered. But either side of that has ran just as good as ever and was fancied. I know the Rachel factor obviously played in the market as well at Cheltenham, but was still fancied for the Gold Cup. So Jerry Colombe's got to take on a Gold Cup winner who has the fitness edge and is older, has done it before. I think it's a massive ask for Jerry Colombe. And if he wins this, then he is a serious, serious horse. But I'm not sure he is yet. So Manila Indo for me.
Manila Indo then for Frankie. Interesting. That's kind of the first one of the first Gold Cup trials of the season over in Ireland. With the Grand National fences, we're going to focus on next because we've got the Grand Seft. As I say, there is an inspection of the Grand National course, but as we record this and chat to you, it is still on. So we'll talk about the Grand Seft. And Jess Kill, likely favourite, run up in this and the Beecher last year. We know he loves these fences. Fantastic lady runner-up in the Topham as well. Cooper's Cross has got a form over them. Percussion has as well. I mean, only 11. It's not a great turnout, Joel, but what do you think wins the Grand Sefton?
It's another boring one, but Jess Kill for Henry Brook taking them out, beating the nose last year by Al Dancer, Sam Thomas, obviously. Ninth in the Topham. Loves these fences. It's pretty much what you said. The only thing I could add to it was I watched the Auteuil run on soft or very soft ground mid-September, and it was heavy. You know what the French grounds are like. Got headed towards the final fence and came back. Really, real good grinder. I think it was 6 or 7 to 1 earlier in the week. I think this will go off 5 to 2, 3 to 1, something like that. But there was nothing else that I could give a poke to this weekend. Last weekend was all about getting value. This weekend, I think the market's telling the story, and it ticks pretty much every box for me. I can't find a negative with this horse, so that's up there for top draw. 245 at Aintree. Yeah, I really like that one. I can't find a negative at all.
So basically, every single favourite Saturday afternoon for you.
Well, but do you know what? No. I've gone for the outsider of the field. You know, like last week,
you have
you
in Ireland.
hang on, shut up. A bumper horse, first time out. One that went off 12 to 1, right, with Skelton out of form, won by half the track. And I can't even remember what the other one was. Oh, that was right. The one that beat Brave Man's Game, Gentleman's Game, like I said it would last week.
So we'll just have to mute him, Frankie. So we've gone for every favourite apart from Envoy Allen. Right, Frankie, what wins the Grand Sefton for you?
I was just actually, as we were talking, having a look at if this tickles your fancy, a Grand National anti-post punt, Born by the Sea, was only 10 lengths 6 in the National. He's obviously coming to have a little look at the fences. I don't think he'll win over 2 mile 5, although he's good enough, certainly off a 140. But 50 to 1 shot for the National in the start of November for Born by the Sea. I'm going to go with Nasalam. I know Gary Moore's in terrible form, as Joel mentioned. This is, I don't know if I'd call it pocket talk. He's a cliff horse for me. I thought last season he would improve going up to 3 miles and have a good crack at the festival. He didn't. Also didn't at Aintree, both over 3 miles. But over 2.5, he has some good handicap form. Off of slightly higher in the weights. He also has a £5 claimer on board, so he's really well weighted. He goes on soft ground and he's back to 2 mile 5. I think he's got a great chance. The only negative for me is the more form, but I've got to back him. Nasalam, I backed him enough times last year and he's well weighted and back to his preferred trip.
He was on my shortlist, Nasalam, interestingly. I am worried about Gary Moore's form, but I did come down on Percussion for Laura Morgan and Gavin Sheehan. Third in the Beecher Chase last year. He's £2 lower now as well. He's won on soft ground prices. The owners have also got Fantastic Lady in here as well. But I thought Percussion tips plenty of boxes, double figure price. I thought it was well worth an each way ticket. We could say Gavin Sheehan back on board like he was for that third behind Ashtown lad and Jess Kill last year. So got a big chance for, I think you're going to need something off a lowish weight in the ground that's going to be pretty testing. So Percussion to have them all beat. Yeah, you can have that. Tomo's here every week. Right. Don't forget, you can like and subscribe because this Punters Guide will be every single Friday throughout the jump season. And very shortly, we'll be cracking on with our Monday series, The Road to Cheltenham, as well. Don't forget, it is the Cheltenham November meeting we'll be looking forward to next weekend. So we'll have plenty of festival clues. We might just be reviewing that meeting soon afterwards as well. So just a little teaser there for you. Don't forget, you can listen to us now on Spotify as well. So like, subscribe, and you'll get notified when a new episode is available. Yes, Joel, you may speak.
Sunday, one of our horses that we keep mentioning, quite aptly named, Drop the Anchor, is entered for Sunday in the 125 at Nace with a row of duck eggs by its name. It goes in the 125. It probably goes against you as well, which is Jazzy Matty, which you've put up a few times. I think it won a race on the same card last year at 16-1. That was over 2 miles. It's 2 mile 4. So if the anchor isn't dropped and is put firmly on the boat, that's worth a look on Sunday. And also one of my horses to follow, Stellar Story, closely related to the Storyteller for Gordon. Goes in the maiden hurdle, 12.50 on Sunday. Honestly, I'm thinking about moving to Ireland because the comparison between the racing in England, right, and the racing in Ireland, just on a normal weekend, it's chalk and cheese, isn't it?
It is. It is. I mean, it's a winner's a winner. Doesn't matter, doesn't it? But yes, especially with Down Road Saving, it is a good weekend over in Ireland. And yeah, Drop the Anchor. We were disappointed on the flat recently as well, but he's certainly interesting. Well handicapped horse, and that's still a story. Did you not a couple of weeks ago make one of that in your first anti-post Cheltenham bets?
Yeah, hang on 1 second. Yeah, I said that. I said it's staying. It's got to go for the champion bumper. So it's taking part in a maiden hurdle. Now I've got to go because I'll see you next week.
Cash out. Right, best bets time then. First, we'll start with you, Frankie. Best bet, please.
Thanks, Mum.
Best bets. We haven't got a market, and I reckon they'll both go odds on. But I mentioned last week I've been tracking these novice hurdlers. The first at Aintree, this will nearly certainly go off odds on. But Josh the Boss, Jamie Neal rides for his old man. They also own Splash of Ginger, is popular at Cheltenham. That might be a 1 to 2 shot. But sometimes in these novice hurdlers I've been tracking, when there's more popular trainers in the field, but the ones I've been following are basically the horses that have ran to the highest bumper level. Bali for Philip Hobbs in the first at Wincanton might be a backable price. I can't see prices yet. So those two probably favourites of both the novice hurdlers on both cards. I think I'm going to back at the weekend. But an each way punt on Nasalam. As I said, everything's in his favour, and I've backed him enough times when he's lost. So I'm having another spin on Nasalam.
Yeah, definition of insanity, I think it is, isn't it? Joel,
yes,
Frankie's gone early. What's your best bet? Are you having something on Sunday?
No, I'm having something because we're just getting the jump season. You know how much I tell you how boring the flat is, and we're 2 from 2 so far with an apps this season. I am going to Doncaster. No, I wasn't going to Doncaster because it's chucked it down. Isn't it? I'm going on the all weather at Newcastle in the November handicap. And I'm going for Pleasant Man.
Interesting. Any reason why you're just sticking out there?
No. Trained by, who do we know he's trained by normally?
Paul Nicholls.
Paul Nicholls. Gone to Jack Jones.
New market, man.
Right. And I've got no inside information, but I was at
he'd be a good trainer.
Yeah, I can't, right. No, I can't.
This is one of them stories that you don't know the actual story, so it's just going to end up being car crash.
Right. If you've got 2 seconds, I'll give you the story.
Crack on.
Right. So when they did this whole thing to promote the football at Haydock, the horse that was going to win it was Pleasant Man. Do you remember this? When I said, get on this horse, they all had teams. They all had teams. So it was like England, Argentina, and it was all a big promo thing, right? And it was absolutely tanking and going like this. And you just whisper, you hear whispers in the background, right? And they know you're not listening. It was going to go for a big handicap on the flat. This is the one, different trainer, get a price. There you go.
Interesting. Massive. It's bizarrely funny you should say that, because I thought you were going down the same direction I was, because I quite like one at a big price in the November handicap, but it's Pridwin, who's also a massive price. They are the two outsides of the field, so maybe covering both each way, Pridwin and a Pleasant Man. My best bet will be the Legislator over at Kelso for Lucinda Russell. Costs £170,000. This one is in a handicap at 215 off a mark of 115. And last seen out finishing fifth in a Grade 2. I think could be absolutely chucked in. Right, plans for the weekend, Joel?
Kids' parties. I mean, not doing the entertaining, obviously. All right, I'm going to pull a rabbit out of a hat or something like that. I've got kids' parties, second the lad to football and the daughter to ballet. Probably sitting in, watching the racing, whinging that we live somewhere hot. That's me done for the weekend.
Yeah, sounds a bit like my weekend as well. Frankie?
I'm going somewhere hot on a stag do. Not that my brother has ever listened to a racing podcast in his life, but I still better not say where I'm going to be safe. But yeah, as of Friday morning until Sunday afternoon, I am checking out. There are a couple of lads on the stag actually that watch racing, so we might get a bit of Wincanton up from somewhere warm with a beer, but that's all I'll say.
Bognor Regis, lock up your daughters.
No. It's a sunbed shop, isn't it? They all turn up there at the sunbed shop with a couple of sparkling waters. Here we are. The thing is,
Brilliant stuff.
I don't get invited to stag do's anymore. I'll be honest with you. Pretty much mine's are funerals and celebrations of life.
You've just got over that threshold, that age. There's like a threshold, isn't there, of your age, and then after that, it is just all dispatches and no matches.
That's the one.
There you go. Right, look forward to the weekend then. Aintree, hopefully the Grand National course gets the go-ahead. Wincanton, Downroll, Newcastle, all in front of the ITV cameras. Next week, it's a big one. We are looking forward to the November meeting at Cheltenham. Loads of festival clues to look forward to. Don't forget, like and subscribe, the Punters Guide, and we will see you soon. As always, please, this weekend, gamble responsibly.